moment. That was my camera. Okay, so for topic one, I want you to write about your almost. You can write about this in a product or a business standpoint. So I kind of made them all so you can write them either way if you're on a promoter focused week or if you're on a business or product focused week. So write to your old self about dreaming, about goals that you were setting, and tell that version of you if you'd be proud of where you are today. What battles have you had to overcome? What journeys were worth it? Where have you gone? And what are your next steps? So just this can be written either to like directly to you. You could say to the girl who feels anything, however you want to start it that way, and then write what goal you were working for. And if you're still in like the process of working on a goal, that's completely okay to be still working on a goal too. And you can still write it in this same format of like to the girl who dreamed about being a stay-at-home mom one day, and we were making moves to be able to do that. And right now I was able to quit my second job. And so you can write it in that sense of like the steps you've taken already if you're not fully where you want to be. Goal setting is one of those things where it never really ends. We always just have the next big thing that we're working towards. But to just sit back and like remember where you came from and how far you made it. Our last book study for Grace on Fire was Embrace Your Almost, and she talked about that a lot in that book. And I really liked that because I don't think we do a lot of self-reflecting very often. So that's our first topic, and you can write it business wise. So if you want to talk about how far you've come in the business, or if you want to talk about it health wise and talk about the goals that you've accomplished in your health, either way. And then it looks like most of you are like me, silence is key. So I'm just going to mute myself and give you a few minutes to write. Okay, I'm going to give us topic 2 now. If you didn't finish topic 1, go back and finish that one later. I always have to go back and finish the like closing hook because that is always the hardest part for me to write. I don't know about you guys. I can write these long, beautiful books, and then I'm like, okay, how the heck do I wrap it up and put a call to action on this that doesn't sound cheesy? So that's where I always struggle, is that part. But topic 2 is your fears. We all have them. Write about one fear you had starting. Was it judgment? Was it lack of success? Was it putting yourself out there? Product wise, you could be talking about something that you think might not be working again, the fear of restricting yourself, failing a diet once again. For business, it could be like your fear of making posts, afraid of making connections, afraid of what others would be thinking, afraid of failure. You can write it either way. But we all do have fears and they're all real and they're all something we all have to overcome. So just talking into those fears, because if you have them, there's a good chance somebody else has that exact same fear and they're sitting there like not realizing you had to overcome it to be able to get to where you are today, because our job is to make it look easy. Like that is our job when we're posting. So if we're not sharing the real raw and honest of like, this is not as easy as it looks sometimes, then others are realizing that they could be here with us doing the same thing, feeling like it is. Like we all have practice. I'm 2.5 years into this business. You think my day one post was the same as my 2.5 year later post? Heck no. But writing into those and sharing those fears and how you overcome them. So let's talk into that for number 2. All right, topic 3 today is about community. So the next book that we're reading, for a lot of mine come from self-development books that I'm reading and just how I resonate with them, either that or podcasts I'm listening to. That's where I get 90% of my posts that I write. But the book that we just started is Finding Your People. I think it's got a yellow cover. If you look it up, I don't know exactly the name of it, but I have a feeling that's it. But the very first chapter talks about research showing that we are designed as humans to crave connection and relationship. But in today's, yes, find your people. Thank you. Thank you, Patricia, holding it up. I was like, I can picture the cover in my head right now. But it just talks about how today's society, we've gotten so used to closing doors, locking up tight, staying in our backyards, like not saying no to those social interactions or events. And then when COVID hit, that got even worse for all of us. And I know for myself, like, I don't even see some of my closest friends because they live in an area where they still to this day are scared to death of it. And so that's just been a big change in like how we interact as people. So I want you to write about how maybe this business or this opportunity has led to you to changing your mindset on community. Maybe you found friends, maybe you found a place where you can finally feel like yourself. Maybe you found that positive support system. Has it pushed you out of your comfort zones and you're making new relationships that you probably wouldn't have started before? How has this community changed? Maybe it's you're on day one and you're like, I don't know if I have a community yet. Well, you made a connection with whoever enrolled you. You wouldn't have reached out to them if you didn't have that connection. You would have just kept sitting and watching them. So maybe it's just that one person has been a change for you. Maybe you finally decided you were like watching her and resonated so much that it made that connection of like, I want to be a part of that. Or maybe you watch these girls go on these retreats, and like the one at Courtney's house last weekend, and you're like, this is why I'm doing this. I want to be on that. I want to have this feeling of this community. And so writing about however it is and just changing, like, it's a different type of community. Obviously, it's not your same college friends or it's not your family. It's a different type of community where you can be real raw in yourself. So write into that. Sorry, just seeing the chat. I don't know if you're able to scroll up to read them, but I also have them all and I will drop them in all the leadership chats. So leaders, you guys can get all the topics out to your teams. later. And then I will also upload the recording if you're a person who likes to watch that instead. All right, topic 4 is being a constant. So I want you to talk about how you're more than just a product of the product, or how you're more than just a person running this business. How are you a leader? So like, what is going to make somebody want to join you on your journey for health, or you in your business? What can you offer them that nobody else can? So maybe that's like something that you've had to overcome, or your upbringing, or changing a mindset, or anything like that. So I put in like you could state it with like, is it that you've been in a blank place and now you can help someone with blank? So an example is, have you been a mom who plugged your kids into TV because you were just too tired to deal with them, but now you're the mom who has the energy to do crafts and helps others feel that same way? So what are you that makes you special to join? So you can take this under a product one, like that example was on energy, or you could do a business one, like, are you a great leader? You don't have to be the Courtney of the group or the Ryan of the group to be a great leader. Like, what are you doing to help somebody? Do you have the freedom right now where you can hop on a one-on-one because you have a small, intimate team? Do you like, anything that you can be a constant for somebody and show them that you're the reason they should join you is what I want you to write in. So I'll type that up too. All right, the last topic for today is talk about your beginning. So, why did you start? Where are you now? This can be like, for business wise, it could be that you started for gas money. And like an example for me is when I started, it was January 2020. In October of 2020, I bought an SUV and it used to cost me $35 to fill up my tank. That was my goal with Thrive Money. That same exact car today cost me $80 to fill up. And so I can talk about how this has allowed me to continue to have that same car. It's like my dream car that I've always wanted. But if I didn't have this extra income, there's no way in heck right now I could afford that $50 difference in gas. Um, so that's an example of like, why did you start and where are you now for business? You could also talk about it from a product standpoint. Maybe you started these products for a health journey and never thought that you would succeed, but now here you are doing E60. Never thought you'd pick up a hydro jug in your life. If you're like me, I hate water. Never thought I'd drink 60 ounces of water in a single day ever. Now you can catch me usually doing it. I still have to challenge myself. I'll be honest, it's a lot harder in the summer. In the school year, I have first graders who compete with me to drink more water than me. So it's like an easy competition. I'm like, I'm going to beat this 7-year-old. I got this. Whereas right now it's harder. But so maybe you're the person who thought you were going to fail on yourself continuously and you were going to give up on that health journey just like you had every other time. And instead, now you're the one who's waking up and making a morning routine. You read a book every day. Whatever it was, just talk about why you started and where you are now. And holy moly, Patricia, I'd be walking. I think I'd be like crying every time I went to the gas station if they told me it was $200. I'd be like, okay, I'll go ride a bike now. Rachel, that's insane. 600 a week. Yeah, those are posts you guys can honestly write. You can even like write about it in the grocery store. Like, I don't know if the last time you guys walked in to buy produce, but like asparagus has gone up like $1. And that doesn't seem like a lot, but if you're going every week and you're buying stuff, that adds up really quickly. So you can write about it super simple and just these little day-to-day things that we do, or you can write about it in a big sense, like maybe it's been like you're able to quit your job or something like that. But you do not have to be like a huge success story to talk about what we're all experiencing, because no people not in this business are having to pay these prices too. We just have a way to like make up for those price differences. I'd be so sad if I had to avoid asparagus. That's like my favorite vegetable. Okay, that is all 5 topics I have for you guys this morning. I will drop those topics in all of the leadership chats, and so the leaders can get them out to everybody. If you missed one, then you can go back, finish writing it out. Since I made them both, if you want to take the time and get 2 posts per one done, so 1 business, 1 product, then you have essentially 2 weeks of posts ready to go. And that's kind of what I plan to do. And so that way, my goal right now, since I'm in summer break and have more time to do this, is to prep myself for when the school year starts, which mine starts, I think, August 8th, because I decided to teach summer school. But then I'm like not having to worry about getting posts done when that comes because I'll be overly batched. So that's my goal with it. But I'll get that out, and then as soon as the recording uploads, I'll also get that for you guys. So thank you guys for joining me this morning.